Let's go Dodgers. I love it. Game 7 World Series champs. Speaking of world, let's talk about the most famous investor sitting on $381 billion in cash in the world. Let's talk about the U.S. government shutdown still going. Let's talk about markets still waiting on data, as we know something big is brewing. You see, next week could also be a turning point. We got the ISM Manufacturing PMI on Monday. We got ADP Nonfarm Payrolls on Wednesday. Michigan sentiment data on Friday. All dropping as Washington stays paralyzed. Meanwhile, the U.S. and China trade deal might be the best thing to happen to Nvidia since the AI went mainstream for them. And through all the chaos, Bitcoin keeps building quietly in the background, waiting for the moment when the world realizes it's the only asset that never shuts down. What's up, family? It's Coach Masi, and you're locked in to the Daily Hodl. This is where we break down the biggest financial news, Bitcoin insights, and market trends so you can stay informed, stay disciplined, and stay ready for opportunity. Let's dive right in. The U.S. government has been shut down for weeks now, over a month. And this could soon become the longest shutdown in American history. Thousands of federal workers are without pay, government data releases are delayed, and confidence in leadership, well, it's fading by the day. Here's the problem. When the government stops functioning, markets lose guidance. Businesses don't know what policies are coming next, and consumers tighten spending, and uncertainty starts spreading like wildfire. You see, the Federal Reserve is stuck in limbo, waiting for the data that may not even come on time because of this shutdown. Investors are looking around asking, if the system can shut down this easily, what does that say about our stability as a country? And that's where Bitcoin steps in, because while Washington argues, Bitcoin never stops. Blocks keep being mined, the network keeps running, no bureaucracy, no politics, just math and code. Now let's talk about next week, because it's shaping up to be massive for markets. Monday kicks off with the ISM Manufacturing PMI, a key indicator of economic strength. If that number falls, it's a red flag for slowing production and weak demand. Then on Wednesday, we get the ADP Nonfarm Payrolls, an early look at the jobs market before the official government report. Strong jobs mean inflation pressure might stay higher. Weak jobs mean the economy could be stalling. Either way, markets will react hard this week. Expect volatility. And on Friday, we close the week with University of Michigan consumer sentiment, the pulse of the American household. If that confidence number dips, which I'm starting to see it happening, it signals people are feeling the strain from inflation and uncertainty. So here's why all this matters to you. All three reports drop while the U.S. government is still shut down, no matter your politics, because it means there's no fiscal direction, no policy clarity, and no leadership narrative. Investors are flying blind. And when that happens, volatility usually spikes. And when volatility spikes, Bitcoin can thrive because Bitcoin isn't driven by DC politics. It's driven by belief in scarcity, freedom, and transparency for those who understand it. Now, let's talk about the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett. Berkshire Hathaway is sitting on a record-breaking $381 billion in cash. That's the biggest cash pile in corporate history. I think it's a big melting ice cube myself. But here's the question everyone's asking. Why is Buffett, the ultimate value investor, not buying? Buffett has said he doesn't see enough value in the market. Translation, everything is too expensive, too uncertain, and too risky. Kind of like beef at the grocery store right now. That's not just an investing decision, that's a signal. When the world's most patient investor refuses to deploy capital, it means he's waiting for something to break. And historically, when Buffett sits on this much cash, major corrections or buying opportunities usually follow. Now, think about this in Bitcoin terms. While the old guard hoards cash, waiting for the system to reset, the new generation is opting out, stacking sats, securing their wealth in the most resilient network on Earth. Buffett might be waiting for a crash. Bitcoiners are preparing for a revolution. You see, we're going to shift gears, and we'll talk about that later. The U.S.-China trade deal looks like it's finally moving toward a one-year framework. And that's big news, especially for tech stocks like Nvidia. Why? Because China is the world's largest buyer of semiconductors, and Nvidia is leading the AI hardware revolution. These trade tensions are now cooling. Chip companies benefit massively, and Nvidia is the leader. More exports, more demand, and smoother supply chains. And here's the irony. While Wall Street cheers a potential trade truce, well, the truth has happened. And the truce, I should say, has happened. So, Washington needs to get that government open. This is the dual reality we live in. One side of the economy is accelerating with innovation and AI, and the other side is paralyzed by politics and inflation. And that's exactly why people are looking for a system that doesn't depend on politics. And that's why Bitcoin matters, and that's probably why you watch this channel. It's not bound to geography, policy, or diplomacy. It's a borderless, decentralized network that doesn't care who's in office or what party's in power. So what does this all mean for you? Well, Bitcoin was born in a time of crisis, the 2008 financial meltdown crisis. And every time the world shows cracks, Bitcoin gets stronger. And Buffett, while he's sitting on 381 billion, well, that means it's a symptom. The government shutdown is a symptom. Trade deals and economic data swings, all symptoms. They point to the same truth. We live in a fragile, centralized system built on debt, politics, and raw emotion. Bitcoin is the antidote, in my opinion. It's a system that never sleeps, never shuts down, and never bends to political pressure. And as the world loses faith in traditional systems, Bitcoin's mission, transparency, freedom, and financial sovereignty, well, they become more important than ever. And that's why you probably watch this channel. That's why you probably invest in Bitcoin. So as we head into next week, watch the data, watch how the market reacts, and most importantly, watch this channel and see how Bitcoin stays steady while everything else shakes. Because that's the pattern. Every time the world gets messy, Bitcoin keeps building. So what do you think, family? Will Buffett's cash hoard signal a market crash or a massive buying opportunity? And does this government shutdown make you more bullish on Bitcoin's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you and what you think, and I reply to every one of them. If you got value from today's breakdown, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this with someone who loves Bitcoin news and financial truth as much as you do. And disclaimer, this content is for educational purposes only. It's not financial advice. Always do your own research before making investment with your money. But I want to thank you. That's your daily huddle. Stay sharp, stay disciplined, and as always, go Dodgers. Lead.Pray.Hodl. I'll see you in the next one.